is up, everyone? My name is Beast. I have here Marky and Kevin.
Yep.
And we are GymDark Gaming, under the Hive of Madness podcast. We have decided, because we had nothing better to do tonight, to sit and basically talk shit about each other.
Yeah, it's
so
supposed to be like Valentine's Day or something, and our significant others are,
Oh, fuck, I didn't even think about that. You're right.
I took care of it before.
Yeah.
I was smart. I did it before.
Yeah.
I'll do it later.
Yeah. But yeah, so we decided, we had some time tonight, so we figured we'd have just like a quick convo. We want to post this up, for you guys to see. Those of you who don't know, we do Twitch streaming on 40k, Warhammer 40k specifically. We do it on Twitch, YouTube. We have our podcast on Under the Hive of Madness is the name.
Check it out.
Yeah, check it out. You can find it on Spotify, and there's various other ones, but Spotify is the only one I remember. I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere below. But yeah,
Scattered throughout the internet.
yeah, we are Goblin King. Ryan, he won't be joining us tonight because he's actually doing Valentine's.
Yeah, he had a misfortunate accident of Valentine's Day.
Right.
So he's gone.
So
He's taken by the Arbites. Yeah.
So we figured we would sit here tonight, and one of the things is we'll do a quick intro of ourselves if you don't know, and kind of like what our 40k armies are. For those of you who don't know, Warhammer 40k is a tabletop miniature wargaming game using models that we build and paint like giant children.
Yeah, it's like Gundam or like little lowriders or airplanes, boats.
Yeah.
Except this one you make futuristic little murder babies and you could have pushed them across the table and like kill each other with dice.
Yeah, it's like chess but with more sound effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, way more steps.
Chess with more steps.
Yeah, way more rules.
Yeah. My name is Beast, as I said, and what I play are Tau and Imperial Knights. Marky?
I am Marky. Hello. I play a couple armies. I play Deathwatch mainly. Genestealer Cult. I'm fairly fresh, but they are quickly becoming like one of my more favorite factions. Just the idea of being squishy is pretty funny and a little more fun. Plus, everybody plays Space Marines. I mean, come on. But I love my Deathwatch. My significant other plays Orcs, but in turn I play Orcs because I need to learn the rules so she can play. And
Also because we like fighting orcs. So.
everybody loves fighting Orcs. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna play this. What are you playing, Mark? Oh, you're playing Orcs. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's not even like that.
It's not even a question. It's
like,
just
I'm
like,
gonna be playing this tonight. Mark, you'll be playing orcs, right?
and my daughter is getting into Dark Eldar. We can talk about that later. I think
The awkwardness of that conversation.
You're right. Yeah, that's an awkward conversation. My newest faction that I'm working on is Corn Demons and World Eaters.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're getting into the chaosy stuff.
Booty eaters.
Yeah, booty eaters.
Yeah.
My favorite kind.
Hey, everybody likes doing it, and if you don't, you're lying.
Only when it's clean.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I have.
Whatever there, Mr.
I have no bar.
Like I said, I don't care. All right, and then we have Kevin. Kevin, what do you do?
Yeah, that's me, and I play Imperial Guard. Lots and lots of Imperial Guard.
Endless Imperial Guard.
Yeah, a tithe.
What you gonna do about all these men?
Yeah, right.
How long you been there, Kevin?
How long have I been there?
How long you been there with all those men?
Right.
All those men? Long enough.
Long enough.
All about that base.
All
To give a quick rundown, very quick rundown. Tau are basically an alien race that live kind of on their own in this own little pocket. They're a caste system. They operate. They're influenced, I guess, real world by like Bushido. Is like the whole thing. People call them communists, but they're not.
Japanese culture.
Yeah, very much by like Asian inspired cultures.
Right.
Like
It's kind of an amalgamation of all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
a lot of them because it's like samurai and
Gundam.
It's
Yeah.
a caste system, which is very much more like the Indian caste system than it is like any other caste system. There's some Chinese influence in certain things. There's Japanese influence.
I would say it's very strongly Japanese influence.
Definitely leaning towards that, but it is all of them.
You got the waifus and the ghost kills. Those are my favorite.
Yeah. So they basically have like giant, they're in robots, that like the suits that they operate. Imperial Knights are the human side of that, I guess I would put it, is that they're in giant robots. Again, I like giant robots. So they're these giant walking like tanks, basically, but they run on like an old like medieval style of culture. And I'm British, so I was like, I got friends.
That's my jam.
Honor and salt, yes, and come my contortium. But yeah, so like,
Imperial Knights, let me trace my lineage back to second cousin of the crown.
I will put my colors on the board. The lance, you say? So that's where mine kind of come from, Mark.
Yeah, I'm honestly
here for 40 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not the best one for lore. Kevin, Tom, and Ryan, who's not here right now. We didn't mention Ryan, but Ryan plays pretty much every faction or has played every faction.
One time or another.
Yeah, one time or another. I believe currently right now he's working on Eldar and he's working on Crude Army, AdMech, Tyranids, Orcs. He's got it all.
Got Necron.
Yeah, Ryan gets around. But yeah, I'm not the best one for lore. Death Watch, they're the super specialist Xeno killers. They were created specifically to fight these Xenos races. As you know, normal Space Marines just kind of they're like Dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts are specifically for demons. Death Watch are for Xenos, and they have black armor, so they're a little cooler, a lot cooler.
And Space Marines, if you don't know, are basically Master Chiefs.
Yeah, just a ton of Master Chiefs.
Basically.
Bunch of Doomslayers, bunch of Master Chiefs running around, messing up whoever they get their hands on.
Space super soldiers.
Yeah, exactly. Then there's Orcs. They're the space fungus. They spread throughout the universe.
Orcs are Orcs. If you're watching this and don't know what Orcs is, chances are you're watching this by mistake.
Yeah.
Chances are the YouTube algorithm was like,
yeah. You're like, check out these idiots.
We're actually here to talk about your car's extended warranty.
Got you. This is where the Rickroll starts. Corn demons. They're demons. World eaters are the bad version of Space Marines. So if you had a Doomslayer that was, infected by, by hell, he would be that.
You know what? I would say that even though you play so many different factions, I think the Orcs and the Corn demons probably have the most in common.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
But I play Orcs a little differently, but we'll get into that.
Right, Corn would look at your Orcs and be like, I thought we were going to be friends, but we're not.
Yeah. And then he's driving. He's
trying to catch him right.
Catch a ride.
Get your eye.
He's got his own soda, dude. He's just chilling. He's not spilling it. It's all good. How about you, Kev?
Well, there's Gene Stealer Cult.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Gene Stealer Cult. Well, the reason I say that is because I'm going to talk about it later, but Gene Stealer Cult basically is mutated, infected humans.
Yeah, essentially.
Right? Like, basically alien race of giant bug monster lizards.
Think like Total Recall and Alien kind of smashed together.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then, Imperial Guard, so...
They're just humans.
It's the complete opposite of literally all the other factions. It's us.
It's us.
It's us.
Dude. You put a gun in my hand, I am guardsman.
Yeah.
It's us. And, apes together strong.
Yeah. It's the mobile infantry.
Except it's Monkai together strong.
Yeah, that's right.
You ever seen Starship Troopers?
Yeah, that's us.
Imperial Guard.
Yeah, and we die just about,
about as fast.
That happens. We die that fast.
Clandestine drop massacre,
that's Tuesday.
That's
it.
But you know what? It's also Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
And then 12 times during the day.
And then eventually they run out of men, and we didn't.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers, are they only still on Earth, or are they expanded?
No, Starship Troopers are everywhere.
They're all over the universe?
That was the whole thing about, like, Zegama Beach.
The whole reason that colony got murdered that they're talking about in the news is because they started a new colony in the zone they weren't supposed to start a colony in. Because they knew the bugs were there. But, and then after having so many men, you also have a bunch of tanks. Mm-hmm. It's not just all the regular men.
And women.
Yeah, men and women.
I guess, Imperial Guard's kind of like Starship Troopers, but also I guess a better one would be like Stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers, Starship Troopers, the UNSC Marines from Halo. It's all that. It's the same vibe.
The accumulation of all that.
It's because they're all essentially Colonial Marines from Alien. That's where I pulled that one. They're all just humans. They're given normal people gear, doing normal people things, and they're expected to go Dude, about as well as normal people do.
Better than normal people things, hopefully.
Well, they're fighting things that are generally normal and better people, and it goes about as well as you'd expect.
Yeah,
fair enough.
They definitely adopt the like Russian theory of things. They're like, we'll just clog them with dead bodies.
I don't even think it's so much about clogging them with dead bodies. It's just about acknowledging resources and how we have more than they do.
True. Yeah, the American way.
Have you guys listened to Bill Burr when he talks about like owning a gun and like for home defense? Where he's just like, yeah, here's a shotgun, blam, you got a problem over there, you got a problem no more. It's like Imperial Guard, they're the buckshot. Yeah. They're the buckshot. You point them in the direction, blam, you ain't got a problem over there anymore. You just gotta have enough slugs or buckshot to do it.
Yeah. Yep. So we decided basically we're just going to record us talking about what it's like to fight against each other.
Yeah, that'd be funny, right?
A little bit of mudslinging.
Yeah. We just mainly wanted to talk shit about each other. We've all been playing Warhammer for a multitude of years, probably like 30 years if we combine everybody together.
Easily.
And we've like pretty much fought just each other, except for Mark, but he's a bit of a whore, but
very much so.
You know what I mean? That in a complimentary way. But yeah, I mean, we've played a multitude of armies. We've stuck pretty much with the armies that we have. So we just kind of wanted to give an insight tonight on what it's like to fight those types of armies. And,
yeah, definitely.
And if anybody wants to learn from that, to please check out our podcast and. Also, any of our YouTube videos, we're updating that as fast as we can.
Yeah, if you want to, deep dive a little more on the lore of Imperial Knights or Imperial Guard, we're actually going over Imperial Guard currently, right?
Yeah, we do a lot of like extensive talk about like world building. If you're, what I found is that if you're into D&D, you might actually like what we talk about simply because we talk about a lot of world building. We talk about a lot of storytelling. The game itself of 40k is a lot of people may look at it and go, oh, well, it's already there. What more can I add to it? As far as like storytelling,
it's a hobby of its own. The creative aspect of it,
yeah, it's a huge sandbox. And we're all in there building sandcastles.
Yeah, even our podcast has its own lore.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, to kick it off, what we should probably say is what everybody wants to hear about is how much fun it is kicking the dog shit out of orcs.
I was going to say Ryan.
Oh yeah, he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, obviously we have to start with low hanging fruit.
So the ongoing joke of the group is whoever's not here to defend themselves is free game.
Yeah,
it's free game.
Yeah, murder.
Yeah, complete utter. Ryan is actually going to edit this, so he's probably going to be like, "Oh, you son of a bitch."
Didn't say that. He's going to like superimpose my own name. I'm all that idiot.
Tom, this is you.
It's not even gonna be your voice.
Yeah, it's all
his
voice.
Yeah, so orcs. That's always a good one to start with. Everybody loves orcs, but why? Why does everyone love orcs?
Well, for starters, they're the bad guys in almost every story. World of Warcraft,
Lord of the Rings.
They're easily relatable in the way that you probably have killed orcs in something.
Okay, yeah.
Or have heard a story.
If you've played an MMO.
If you played any art, fantasy, or you've probably fought an orc, or played as an orc.
Right.
Yeah. What's the other one? Elder Scrolls?
Elder Scrolls has orcs.
Right.
And I mean, they're not...
Fallout has the super mutants.
Fallout has super mutants? Basically orcs.
Basically orcs, yeah.
Yeah, and like so that's the thing too.
I think they yell "wow" pretty almost exactly the same.
Well, and that's the funny thing about orcs too is that a lot of people like you spend so much time in video games and stories and stuff where it's just like it's not a big deal to kill an orc. You're just like, oh yeah, like whatever. Well, and then you end up like playing 40k or something, and it's like, yeah, they die, but like Jesus Christ, so like, do they hurt?
Oh, yeah.
And you don't feel bad either, because once you kill them, orcs are fungi in 40k.
Technically, you just helped them breed.
Yeah. You're basically fucking them for themselves, right?
Yeah, well, you shoot them, and they're basically a gas bag of spores, so when you blow them up, they just go...
Just jizz everywhere.
It'd be like flicking a mushroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time you shoot it is like flicking a mushroom, and you're knocking more mushroom spores out.
The movie Alien Covenant.
Right.
Kick those spores, you know.
The black stuff.
If you haven't seen that movie, you should. But yeah, so basically, like fighting orcs, I would say as either a Tau. Fighting orcs as Tau is super fun because it's just multitude of shots.
It's just
Tau are really well known for shooting a lot. Yeah, it's just like Gundam heavy arms.
It's just
Gundam
heavy
wings.
right?
You're just like,
Favorite Gundam, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, that's like hell for me.
Custom?
I mean, when I was
Hell.
That's like hell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
when I was a teenager, definitely. But then it went back to heavy arms.
I really like Sandrock too. I don't know why.
Sandrock
was
really good.
cool. The pilot got a shitty voice actor.
Yeah.
What's his name? What was his name? I can't remember. But yeah, so I mean,
remember
like,
either.
if you can think about having a giant robot, and then like, because orcs operate in large groups.
Right.
Usually they operate in like big. They're a horde.
They're a horde army.
Yeah.
Right.
And a horde army means like you have lots of them. Mm-hmm. And you know, Tau are very much they're a gun line army, so you have a lot of guns. So it's literally like just setting up machine guns.
It's the Boer War.
It's the Boer War. Yeah, it's
almost like D-Day, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's like the Axis perspective. Of
yeah,
right,
it's like
right.
Starship Troopers. You know, so it's a lot of fun to fight that. But you know, it's one of those things. Like when it gets into combat, it's like, oh Jesus Christ!
this is why
they get into close combat.
It goes from the dude in the bunker killing everybody on D-Day to everybody getting murdered by the zombies in World War Z real quick.
Yeah. Well, the thing that you pissed me off about fighting him at first is I was always like, oh yeah, orcs, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna just shoot a shit ton of them, and he starts shooting at me, and I'm like,
You're
what the hell are you doing?
as much as I do.
I'm like, what the hell are you doing shooting at me?
So
Right?
the way I like playing orcs is I like the orcs that even when I first started playing with the wifey, I think back in 5th edition was when she picked up the army. It was all bikes. She liked playing bikes. She's like, oh, these are dope. You know, they're a bunch of like biker dudes that just drive around and just mess shit up.
Was that Road Rash? Remember that video game, Road Rash?
Yeah.
Like motorcycle race where you hit people with chains.
Right? It's just a bunch of Ghost Rider dudes just flying around. But yeah, even then, before buggies and before like airplanes were super prevalent.
Oh yeah.
It was just, you know, bikers and trucks, and I think battle wagons were just released. So we had battle wagons.
Like an OG unit?
Battle wagons? No. I think that was in like 5th edition they released.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, we rolled around super mechanized. That's how the wifey liked running them. I really dug it. I liked it. And then people were like, "Oh, green tide," and I'm like, "That's expensive, man. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff I got to paint."
I know.
You ended up doing it anyway.
Yeah, the wifey doesn't paint. I paint, so it's like, you know, what was it, like 90 plus boys broke me, and there's still more army past that.
I just remember fighting Killicans, which are like, you know, the robots for
The
grots.
mini dreadnoughts.
The mini dreadnoughts. I remember fighting Killicans, and I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. I have better robots, clearly. And I just fucked.
I've never actually fought Killicans. I don't think you've
I got
ever
6
fought.
of them.
They're fun. Yeah, they're fun to fight.
I got 6 of them.
I heard that they're pretty nasty.
Yeah, they
have like
can be.
rockets.
Yeah.
It's one of those units that comes out and then it just stomps on things. Like,
Yeah, there's just
how much damage?
It's a lot to chew through, and there's just they're little dreadnoughts, man. It's like you roll out with 6 dreadnoughts that don't shoot very well, but
tear shit
actually
up.
they shoot better
They shoot better than
regular orcs. Yeah,
They're 4 up.
they're grots. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is stupid. Like
Yeah, you got orcs.
Like they're better than an orc.
grots.
You know, you're like, that's a grot.
Yeah, better shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dumb. That's why it's great when I switched over to Imperial Knights and then...
Yeah, then now Tom has
nothing
bigger
bothered.
guns than I do.
Yeah, I was like, how can I have a bigger, better robot?
I need a robot with a big gun, but it also needs to be stomping.
Pacific Rim, got it.
Would you say orcs are like your favorite to
Fight?
fight?
Yeah, other than Imperial Guard.
Other than Imperial.
Yeah, Imperial Guard and Orcs are probably my favorite things to fight. I don't know though, it's hard because like Gene Stealers are actually a lot of fun to fight because they're weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Like Gene Stealers, they have
Gene Stealer
like,
cult?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Fuck Gene Stealers.
You're like, I want nothing to do with them.
No, Gene Stealer cult is actually really like I'd say originally when I first started playing, fighting orcs was my favorite because I hadn't done it a lot, and when I got to, it was like always a good time.
Right.
But as I've developed as a player, I'd say right now, Genestealer Cult, barring on any type of big demon thing, because I haven't gotten to do much.
Because you like the whole kaiju, like big things fight each other. Yeah.
And I mean, and that's the thing, like about the only reason I like fighting Genestealers is because it's complex.
Oh, okay.
Like, you do a lot of weird shit that I don't understand.
And there's even weirder shit now.
Yeah. And, like, I don't understand it. And for me, I've always kind of tried to, like, focus on, like, target acquisition.
There really isn't with...
Then there isn't.
Yeah, that's my biggest struggle fighting with Genestealers is like, man, I could dump this Demolisher into his most valuable thing. Except he doesn't have a valuable thing.
It's all just
a bunch of shit things covered in big ass guns
with lasers,
with fucking mining lasers,
mining lasers,
sharp fucking lasers.
Yeah, no, I definitely think Genestealer Cult are becoming more of like my favorite army to play just because of
they're so weird.
All the weird stuff they do.
They're so
it's
weird.
Like for people who want to play Harlequins but don't want to be a pointy ear.
Right.
It's like playing Harlequins but having more stuff.
Yeah, because like Harlequins, they ignore rules where Genestealer Cult have a ton of
billion
rules.
extra rules. Yeah.
Well, and like in Harlequins, it's like you have like 4 units.
Yeah.
You got 4 things. Like Genestealers, it's like, what the hell is that guy? What the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that? Like, what is that guy? Like,
he's got a big old dookie on his head.
Yeah, well, it's like, oh, you've got a dirt bike guy, you've got a guy in a quad, then you have a guy on a dirt bike with a sniper rifle for some reason, and then why is there a guy over there with a table? Like, there's literally like that.
He's just like
it's literally.
It's obviously Gene Cena.
Yeah, like there's a fucking.
I'm doing that.
Do it. That's the next like after you have to make. He's got a chair.
That's my saboteur, dude.
He's got a chair. He has to be cloaked at all times.
That's how the saboteur is, man.
And then he just comes out.
Oh, it's the Sanctus. Oh, what if it's the Sanctus? Oh, that'd be great. It's my melee Sanctus,
right? It's just there's like a dump truck and then a dude with a table. And then there's like literally he's got a table. Like,
this dude's got a signpost.
Yeah. There's a guy with a stop sign.
Yeah,
he's got.
And then there's a dude with a machine gun. Like, it makes no fucking sense. Like,
where did all this rabble come from?
They have like I want to say they have the most. Not the most characters in the game, but they have the most characters that you were gonna bring into a game on the tabletop.
At once.
Yeah,
I challenge you.
I mean, dude,
we have quite the characters.
That's true. That's true. Who's your favorite faction to fight, Kevin? This is a tough question.
This is a tough question. So far,
if you say orcs, I'm gonna fucking.
I think he's gonna say Tau.
No, I mean, it's been a long time, so I think I need a refresher.
Yeah.
And then once he plays the new Tau, he's gonna be like, yeah, nah. Nah.
Imperial Guard have already devised certain ways to deal with it, mostly because it's a new Tau ignores a bunch of invulns, which I don't have any.
It doesn't.
You can't ignore what I don't have.
I don't got it.
It doesn't have a bunch of stuff that has one thing. And that one thing, that's all it does.
You can ignore the one thing I don't have? Do it.
Yeah, you got one railgun? Well, I got 3 Demolisher cannons. What's you gonna do?
That's a subject in itself.
Fuck that Demolisher cannon.
Dude,
that's what it's like when it's like fighting Imperial Guard. That's why I said it was like one of the funnest.
Right.
It's like fighting Imperial Guard, you're just like, this is a very target-rich environment. There's so much to shoot. And then you're like, and it's super easy. You're like, kill all these guys, it's super awesome. And then he shoots at you with a fucking cannon that's from the Death Star, and you're like, what the fuck was that?
Just a huge ass bowling ball.
It's just like, boom, shoots a fucking rock at you, like a boulder. It's literally like this, like the barrel on that thing, like for the model itself, like a dude could like sit in.
Yeah.
So essentially, the Demolisher cannon that they're all talking about is. It's the only gun in my army that does any damage.
It does a lot of damage.
But it does a lot of damage, and it's essentially, they were like, okay, we take all these tanks that Games Workshop basically looked at World War II and was like, all of it.
No, they looked at World War I and World War II, and then they swapped shit.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
It's funny because you have Demolisher cannons on like a tank, your top turret, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a bunch of sponsons and your hull weapon. It's like Space Marines. They have a tank just for the Demolisher, just the turret. It's the Vindicator. You don't see them very often.
No, because they're not very good.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just that's the only gun it's got.
Yeah. Which in lore, it serves a very useful purpose. It doesn't transition to the tabletop very well.
Not very well.
In lore, it's great. See that wall? Put a hole in it. Dude, problem solved.
If they were cheaper, I would buy like a ton of them.
They look really cool.
I love them.
I think
they have the big old dozer blade on the front.
Dozer, and it's got that little niche for the little cannon.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Demolisher.
It's literally just like the wall breacher in space.
Yeah,
that's its only purpose.
I love that thing.
It's a tractor with a gun.
Yeah,
exactly.
It actually carries, I think, one of the shells on the back.
Yeah, and it has the little like arm loader.
I have I drew the little the bullet guy face from Mario.
Yeah.
Oh, the shark mouth?
Yeah, the shark mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drew that on
Goomba.
That's good.
Is that what they're called? Goombas?
No, Goombas are the shrooms.
The mushrooms. You got Koopas, which are the.
I think they're called like bullet mans or something. I don't know. So we're probably gonna get like murdered in comments.
Whatever. I'm not a Nintendo boy.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I had them, but I was never like.
So who's your favorite faction?
I would say. Currently, as I remember it, it's Orcs.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
But part of that is because playing against you is always just hilarious.
Yeah.
Because we do dumb things.
Dumb shit, yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
It really, honestly, it boils down to the players.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like playing against demons, like in our other friend Mark, like his demons playing against them is pretty fucking fun.
Yeah, Mark's great.
Like it's a lot of fun just because he plays them like
he's
demons.
chaotic.
Like,
They're all over the place.
yeah, he's just like, what's that shiny thing? you're like, holy shit!
He's like bloodthirster.
yeah.
Which demons are pretty fun, but going against your Orcs is fun mostly for the same reason: target rich environment.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But
You haven't ever fought Imperial Guard, have you?
no, I've never mirrored.
Fought your own.
So we're gonna have to get Marshall against.
I do want to mirror Imperial Guard one of these days.
Yeah, dude, Marshall would be down for it.
Just to see how annoying some of these tactics you end up having are. Constantly being able to fall back from combat, you piece of shit. Fucking hate you when you do that.
It's not even that I'm constantly able to fall back. It's just that I have so many units that you're like, ha, gotcha. You're not going to be able to shoot me next turn. I'm like, cool. I got like 9 other things to shoot.
You're like, I'm just going to scoot him back. And everybody else is going to shoot
guys.
So annoying.
The tank turrets are just like,
it's literally like, I forget what it is, but I remember seeing something where it's like, you go in and you're just like, ha, oh fuck. Like,
Tank Commander's like, kick this bitch in reverse.
I mean, in a sense, actually, the way I developed, like the way I do the little like boxing things with that is I watched the battle of the 3 armies or whatever in the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
When the dwarves charge the elven lines with their fucking sheet mount things.
oh yeah. The Billy Goes Gruff.
Yeah, the elves, the front row makes a fucking ramp with their shields.
Oh.
The cavalry jump over, and then the elves make like a circle right behind them, and then all that cavalry lands, and then the elves just like got him, and then they reform. And I was just like, all right, I can make that work.
Like
so
Spartans.
Yeah, Spartans do kind of the same thing, or Vikings where they break the shield wall, let somebody in and then stab them, things like that.
It's good stuff.
Romans do, that's just shield wall tactics, but I've adapted
it's like a phalanx, I think
it's
phalanx is spear and shield,
to keep them from being able to get to you.
You just fuck them with a really long stick.
Yeah,
can't get me.
My favorite kind.
Yep.
But also I've got the artillery to just fucking
just send it.
Send it downtown. Playing APOC is always fun with Guard though.
Yeah. Oh man, APOC games.
Yeah.
The main reason Porphyron makes an appearance,
right?
The reason I don't necessarily put fighting Tau is fun for the same reason that you think fighting Gene Stewards.
That's what I was gonna say.
Is because I have to surgically dismantle the Tau's lines. Because that's the whole point. Is Tau build their lines so that way you're like, I want to kill that thing, and they're like, no.
Yeah. Well, these 7 other things over here say no.
Weebo is gonna fucking come here and take this bullet.
Or they're just not there. That was always my favorite thing. I was like, you're gonna shoot at me? Too bad. You can't see anything. They're not here. They're gonna drop from fucking orbit.
Although it was really fun fighting you with Scions that first time.
Oh, when you did it to me?
When I did it back to you, and you're like, oh, this is how it feels.
I was like, oh my god, is this what I do to people?
This is what I do to people.
So, funny story, the way that Tom plays was actually how I used to play my salamanders. So the way Tom plays his Tal, I used to take 3 drop pods with Stern Guard and like combi flamers, combi plasma, combi melta.
That's basically what you did with your Death Watch that one game.
Yeah,
like 80 guardsmen at one turn.
Yeah, I was like, man, this brings back memories.
That was
it sucks because you're like, I can't. What am I gonna do? I can't stop it.
Yeah, there's literally nothing I can do about it. Like I was like,
you just see it come down.
Cover. You're like, cool, it's auto wounding.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like turn 2. My old turn 2.
Oh yeah, your old turn 2. Man, and what's funny is
they were always so good. Kevin's just like, well,
here it comes.
Let me just bend over now.
It was
this is all gone.
It was literally my favorite fucking part. Like, I could end the game after that and be like, no, I lost. It's fine. I got to do that. I'm good.
Like, turn 1, Tom's like, fuck, that sucked.
Yeah.
It's going to suck for you, turn 2.
Yeah. I'm like, man, that sucks. Wise guy, huh?
Wise guy. Straight to the moon.
Basically, I would take all of my crisis suits, which are basically like, acrobatic robots.
Right, Tom does the far side bomb.
Yeah, basically. But I do it with I do it with 3. I use 3 bombs.
Yeah,
I drop 3 different units.
3 different bombs.
More than like 3/4 of his army is coming like
from space. I basically drop everything on the table and I use these like robots that have like 20 million shots. They each carry like double barrel gallon guns, and I'm just like, and I'm gonna land, and everything is dead in this area.
But they're not there during my turn, so I can't shoot.
Can't shoot me.
Right.
Then they just show up and shoot me.
Exactly.
Like,
so you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I think the best one I ever did, I killed 3 entire units of infantry that you had.
Yeah.
And I basically cleared the entire center of the table.
Like, cool, this is my area.
Yeah, I was like, this line? I just made that.
Although,
This
if I recall, then I probably hit all of your suits with demolisher cannons.
That was when you were doing the whole, like,
battle cannons.
No. That was when he brought out the fucking machine guns. You were running like assault cannons or something? Yes.
All the Punishers.
Yeah, dude. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, because that's when I needed to peel drones.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's so sad. My little drone. My little drone babies.
Because I'll have my big cannon, and if I shoot that at Tom's suits, then he's like, shield drone.
Yeah.
Look what I can do.
I basically, what was that movie? Ender's Game?
Oh,
I just Ender's Game it. I'm like, surround me.
Yep. And,
can't get me.
And that got really annoying, so I was like, well, you know what? 40 shots.
Yeah.
How many drones you got?
You're like, not 40.
Then I'm gonna shoot them again.
And it's 20 shots fired twice because Lehman Russes are awesome.
Yeah, fuck that. I hated those.
I gotta say, my favorite faction to fight it's gotta be Tyranids. Tyranids are just
fun.
like, I mean, everybody knows I love Starship Troopers, and if you don't know, now you know. If you don't know, now you know. Hashtag.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love fighting like horde Tyranids, big bugs.
But I mean, like, I don't like fighting a specific kind of Tyranid.
Yeah.
I don't like fighting the Tyranids that shoot.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like playing thematic Tyranids.
Yeah, like actual Starship Trooper bugs.
I don't mind it as long as it's like a kind of, what do you call it?
Vegetable medley.
Yeah, exactly.
Vegetable medley.
I don't know. I feel like this new tournament mid list is not very.
I wouldn't mind it. As a night player, I wouldn't mind fighting giant monster bugs.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of shooting in it too, isn't there?
Yeah,
the Carons don't shoot, do they?
Yeah. Well, who? No, they don't.
No, but they
got other stuff.
What is it? Isn't it like strength 9 bullshit?
Yeah, they have like Hive Guard, and they have
it's Hive Guard with Venom Cannon or something.
Yeah, they have like the ignoring line of sight stuff. But I mean, that all might change. We don't know.
It's a short range basilisk,
right?
Because that's Guard's answer.
And it hurts.
Guard's answer is, oh, cool, I could do that for twice as far away.
Yeah,
I mean, I like as an Imperial Knight player, I like fighting Tyranids.
Yeah,
because that's basically that's Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a fun hunt.
Yeah, dude, you're just like I can't express how nice it is to run Knights because you're just like not much hurts. like everybody's like guard. I'm shooting all these fucking guys like 50 shots. I'm like, I'm fine. You know? But then there's that fucking demolish.
Like, Jesus!
Like catching a football.
Yeah.
Like fucking...
A football out of a potato gun.
Oh, right.
Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Here, catch this beanbag.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Is like it's like I have shields, so I'm like, yeah, okay, I could block that. But if I don't, it fucking sucks. Like, that's a quarter of my health gone.
Yeah, those demolishers are dirty, man.
Yeah. I only got 4 of those fuckers on the field at once. You know? I got 4 dudes.
Yeah. Usually one's down by turn 1, so it's kind of like a
fighting you guys. Yeah, fighting other people now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fighting you guys.
People haven't
to.
learned.
Nobody. Yeah, people don't focus fire.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that fighting, like in our group, we've all learned is because we fought each other so much that we've all learned really good target acquisition.
Right.
You play against some other people, man, they don't know what to shoot first.
Right.
Like, I forget who it was I was playing, but I remember he shot all of my guys.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you've done nothing. You know, because you spread out all your shots. So it's like you gave that guy 1, took 2 off that guy, and now they're all top tier. They're all in your line.
Might have been Ryan.
It might have been Ryan. It might have been Ryan.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I know. I did it like in the beginning. I was like, oh, well, maybe I can like hurt him a little bit.
Well, yeah. I mean, we all
No, and then you just made me shoot myself.
That was great. Don't have that anymore, but that was great.
That's why I don't like fighting Gene Stealers.
I don't have it anymore.
Actually,
so you're
no,
fine.
that's not the reason. The main reason that I didn't like fighting Gene Stealers is there's just so many fucking those mining lasers.
Yeah, they're brutal.
And like my thing is having a bunch of vehicles, and you have enough mining lasers that even if I kill 1 a turn, you're still able to kill 1 or more vehicles of mine per turn.
Be pretty gnarly.
And I don't have that many vehicles because they keep making them more expensive.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of Gene vehicles on the table.
Although now chimeras aren't really that super viable anymore because Games Workshop reversed that back to. They changed the victory points on them again.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because they give up
again.
secondary kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, so it's even better to kill them.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, because they were worth 2 points with the bring it down thing. Then they moved them. They changed the threshold
Down to 1.
and then it ended up moving them down to 1. And then now they changed it again, so now they're back up in the 2-point bracket.
Yeah. That's if you play like grand tournament style. Like you can. There's so many different ways to play the game. Like you can play Crusade, you can play grand tournament style, you can play match play.
So I just learned something in regards to the new tournament rules. The whole like no faction intermixing.
Yeah.
No, that's only in the Nachmund pack.
What?
Yeah, well,
That's not in chapter approved or anything. It's only in the tournament pack.
right. Yeah.
Oh, so you can still do it.
Yeah, like in match
Nice.
players.
Okay.
I thought it was in chapter approved.
You thought it was the core rule book.
I thought the core rule book had been updated.
Oh, it's just
to
a tournament.
Yeah,
It's
right.
only in the tournament
Man,
pack.
fuck tournaments.
I get it.
Don't like them.
I get it because I'm sure from Games Workshop's perspective, like, man, it's hard to balance. There's so many factions.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then there's always this like, oh, well, we'll make these guys good at melee, but not good at shooting. So that way there's a balance.
Yeah.
But then people are like, well, half my army is the melee army, and half my army is the shooting army.
That's one thing that I really find funny. Because people will ask me, I forget who it was last time, but somebody on the Discord was asking me, they're like, oh, how do you run your knights? And I was like, melee or not melee? And they're like, oh, well, which ones do you take? I'm like, all the ones that shoot or none of the ones that shoot. They're like, you don't mix it? I'm like, fuck no. Well, because
mono flavor.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, nah, man. It's like I don't do that Neapolitan ice cream.
All or nothing.
Like, I don't do that Neapolitan ice cream bullshit. Like,
and like, I mean, I'm kind of glad because it'll chill the meta out a little bit because there's some ridiculous shit floating around out there.
Well, the main thing, or the main reason that I like playing like Grand Tournament style is because that's the one that they're focused on for balance.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, so when you're playing like a narrative game or Crusade or match play, those are just made to play the game however you want to play the game.
Yeah. Not
how, okay, hey, this is fair. That's why I like playing Grand Tournament. Like, fair. Yeah, fair.
Hey man, last I checked, you don't fight awards that are fair. You take every fucking option to have the advantage that you have.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But I mean, But I mean, when you're playing a game like with somebody that's brand new to 40k, and you're like, "Hey, we're gonna play Crusade, where all my stuff is super buffed, and it's not gonna be fair." No, it's not gonna be fair for you, but
that was the best part about playing Kevin when he first started learning.
Actually, I really enjoyed learning the game. Even though you guys creamed my ass so many times in the beginning.
No, I did after.
You let me win like 3 in a row, and then you were like, "Fuck that!"
You're like, "What was that, Kevin?"
Oh, you won 3 games in a row. That's cool. You're not winning 4.
That is exactly what I did. Mark and I were like I forget, we were at the game store because that was the thing. Like Kevin had been playing, he'd finally been building up his army. And then we got to that point, like you and I were playing him, and we were playing easy. We weren't playing competitive. Yeah. We were like, let's just have fun.
Kevin's learning the game. Let's have a good time.
Yeah, let's not use our freaking cheese sauce or anything. Right. Yeah. And then Kevin was like, "Oh yeah, man, I fucking kicked your ass on this or whatever." And I was like, "Oh,"
because I figured it out at one point. It started to click. And then I started to win.
Yeah.
And you got in sequence, and I was like, okay, I think I have this figured out. And then Tom fucking did the Farsight bomb and killed half my army in one turn. And I was like, man.
It was like, Kevin's like, oh yeah, yesterday, like whatever you were referring, we were at the game store. Mark had showed up to watch. And Kevin was like referring to the last game we played, and he was like, "Yeah, I fucked up, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "All right." And turn 2, I was like, "Your army's gone." And he was like, "Fuck." Mark was like, "Man,
also,
why did you fucking do that?"
That's something that there's literally nothing I can do about. Yeah, which is why it's just more like,
it was so good though. Mark's like, "Why did you do that, dude? He's learning." And I'm like, "Cause fuck his cockiness." Like he wants to get a fucking attitude, I'm gonna fucking fuck him up.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the last
Mark
time
did it to me.
The last time you played Tau, I fucking wrecked you though.
I told you that's what sucked the most.
Actually, the last 2 times you played Tau, there was the time in Vegas where it was us against Tom.
Yeah.
And like,
oh my god,
that was a brutal game. That was probably our last game with.
Yeah, I was done. I quit.
That was your last game as Tau. And I think it was mostly brutal because your Space Marine 9th Codex had just come out.
Yeah,
it was just waffle stomping.
Oh, dude, I had nothing.
Like I feel like me shooting at you, fair. Was like that was like our half of the game was totally like even. And then then fucking Mark's over here with his 9th edition Codex, like just using it to sweep Tom.
Like you can literally get these Tau off my table.
No, it literally was like
it's like he used the Codex to just be like
yeah, by no means am I saying like, oh yeah, I was a great player at this. It's like, no, dude, I had my moments. That's probably the best way I could put that. Right. There was a time where I was like, man, I'm not too bad at this game. I could do some shit. And then it was like, nah, never mind.
Nah. I'm just gonna try and kill as much as I can.
Yeah, because we used to play every fucking week. And we got to a point where it was a slugfest.
Yeah,
and then the same thing happened between us.
Oh yeah, every time Tom and I play, we stop playing objectives.
Yeah, we just punch each other.
Beat the hell out of each other.
Well, it's like when you see like a boxing match, and like in the first couple rounds they're all trying really hard, and then the last one they're just swinging for the fucking.
They're just like leaning on each other. Just like,
that's pretty much how all of our games of 8th went. Because I think when Tom and I first started playing each other, we were kind of getting used to like the whole new system because. Going from 7th to 8th,
because we started playing each other in the middle, nearing the end of 7th.
Yeah, but like the stark contrast of how 8th was to 7th.
Oh my god!
It was a completely different.
It's a whole new game.
Completely different game. So Tom and I were like, all right, baby steps. Let's just shoot each other.
Yeah.
Start with shooting phase.
Yeah.
How that works.
One of my favorite times ever. Mark used to run a Leviathan Dreadnought and a Contemptor Dreadnought. And he ran those 2 every time in his list. Until my broadsides with railguns started showing up. And he would keep those fuckers way in the back.
What's your range again? Yeah. Can you see him?
Yeah.
Can you see him?
There was one time he literally was like, all right, I'm going to bring out my Dreadnought. It took one step and I fucking blasted it. Like literally it was like, and we're going. And I'm dead. Like, it was just like, it was just legs.
Yep. So I was like, all right.
Yep. You saw, can't use these against him
what's
anymore.
Funny is you ran a double Dreadnought list, You said it was Contemptors, right?
It was a Leviathan and 1 Contemptor.
Yeah. Isn't that the new list?
No, it's like 3 of the big Primaris Dreadnoughts.
So like recently I've been going to like competitive, like I've been going to tournaments. I haven't really done tournaments before. All of the playing that I did in 5th, 6th, 7th were all like garage games. I think I played like maybe 1 or 2 tournaments in between that I went with like some old buddies. They're like, hey, come play this tournament. I'm like, yeah, sure. And I get my shit pushed in like last place. And I'm like, all right, cool. This isn't for me.
I'm going to go back into my
I'm going to go back to my garage.
Get back into my cave.
Right? Where I can play with the other scrubs.
We can have fun together.
Play with the other neckbeards.
But yeah, no, recently, I've been kind of delving more into like dabbling, I could say, and like running like big dreadnought lists, which I've always like. Dreadnoughts were part of the reason I got into 40k.
The idea of a dreadnought is so cool. It's a walking sarcophagus.
Yep, walking dead guy.
Walking dead guy. Yeah.
But yeah, Terminators and Dreadnoughts were kind of the main reason. Like box Dreadnoughts, I love box Dreadnoughts.
The original.
I have 9
Ironclad.
Yeah, well, just regular Dreadnought.
Yeah, but that's an Ironclad class, isn't it?
Ironclad is a up armored class of the box Dreadnought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Dreadnoughts and Terminators, they were really big for me. Space Hulk was another big thing.
That's why Terminators.
Yeah, Terminators are essentially tactical dreadnoughts.
Yeah, I was never like the Space Marines were always really cool. Like the idea of a Space Marine, yeah, that's awesome. But it didn't tickle me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. Like it took me seeing Tau and Imperial Knights. They're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna dig in,
yeah. No, I think we go into depth on it in like the podcast on our intros, but like when I first learned about 40k, I saw Space Marine, I was like, that is badass. And there's a lot to choose from. There's a lot.
That's basically the size of a playing card.
Yeah, there's more than this. I'm right here. I used to play these guys, but I play these guys now. Picture. Yeah, it's like a fucking Ouija board, dude. Right?
Are the Carcardons on there? I don't think so.
I see black dragons.
Oh yeah, that's true.
No, I'm not seeing Carcardons.
Space Marines have all sorts of like different types.
They might not have the Forge World ones on here.
Yeah,
or like the
they have flesh tearers though. These guys.
Yeah. Gotta love them. Wait, hold it. Is that?
I thought playing.
But they do have the Blood Ravens.
They do have Blood Ravens, right?
Ew.
Yeah, Blood Ravens weren't an actual chapter until Dawn of War came out, the video game.
I like it when they do that.
Well, I mean, the story for Dawn of War was pretty good,
right?
So I'll give it that pass. The problem is there's some pretty gaping holes in it, right? Well, mostly because the first time a game studio tries to get something as deep as Warhammer, they're gonna miss some things,
right?
And so there's the big joke running through the meme community, if anybody doesn't know, is that the Blood Ravens
like
are
to steal shit.
Magpies.
They like to steal shit.
I knew that would get Tom. No, that's literally there's like a picture of a fucking Blood Raven running off with like somebody's relic, and then it's like fucking magpies. Somebody in the background. Trajan shows up Pokeballs people. The fucking Blood Ravens are like Imperial Ludas.
They're like it's like Debo from Friday. Like rolls up and it's like, what you got on you?
Yeah, I gotta use this right on.
And it comes from like they have weird relics. Like they have like a dreadnought, but the dreadnought's not in their chapter. Like it belongs to like it's very specific.
They just like jack some other.
Well, it's like a special.
Hey, dead guy, you're ours now.
They fucking flick him on. He's like, where?
What? Where the fuck?
Where are you?
They wanted to give him like a crazy venerable dreadnought. Right. They ended up giving him a dreadnought that is actually like locked to a specific, like weird shit like that. Stuff that they don't necessarily understand.
That's funny.
And so there's like weird little like jokes because they have all these chapter relics that should belong to everybody else.
Man. Yeah, Space Marines, there's a lot of them.
I haven't, you know what? What's one thing I haven't fought? I haven't fought AdMech.
I played a couple AdMech, and dude, it is... And nothing, no offense to like the players, I don't like fighting them because and not because they're powerful either. I not only do I not like the aesthetic of AdMech, I don't like the way they play because they're like, all right, this is my ability. I'm going to put this ability on this guy and this guy and this guy. Okay, let's go to my next guy. Okay, he's got this ability. He's going to put it on this guy, and this guy.
Oh, it's token.
And then it's just like, oh my god, dude! Like
they're playing Magic.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just gonna say that.
They're fucking.
They're literally playing Magic.
They're buffing all their fucking guys with all these cards so that they can fucking one hit you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, okay. It's like, okay, I'm gonna shoot that guy. Okay, well he ignores all this. And you're just like, why? And he's like, oh, because of this, this guy's third cousin twice removed back here.
It's like Eldar with all the special rules.
Yeah, well, but I mean,
it's ignoring all.
Eldar have like a lot of psychic special rules where they're like, okay, I can give them this if I roll for it, or like I.
Oh, but the Skitarii stuff, it just happens.
Yeah, it just happens. A lot of it just happens. Yeah.
That's why you shoot them first.
Yeah, and I'm just not a fan of playing them, honestly. They're too technical. Like where G-Steelers is like, oh, I'm sneaky, I get to have fun. They're like, these are all of my buffs, and I'm gonna give them to everybody, and it's gonna take forever for me to buff them, then I'm gonna shoot you.
That's pretty feels bad.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see people getting pretty feels bad about that.
It's not so much feels bad because it's out in the open. It's just
no, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like being like really that. All that?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel sometimes when you're like, oh, my Death Watch, you fucking this it. I'm like, yeah, all this other made up shit you're coming up with.
So,
I mean, that's where the whole fucking Mark's playing I win making up rules over here.
The last Death Watch I played have definitely been like that because it's a Dreadnought castle. So I'm like, all right, these are my badass Dreadnoughts, and I'm going to buff them all up, and then I'm going to shoot you. Yeah. So it's very similar to that. And then I'm going to...
exactly what you just did.
It's how my Bulgrin run in there and crump the one dude giving the buffs.
Dude. They're like squeezing in. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Bomb. It's just like me.
That's why you run 4 melee knights.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about it that. Like, I have played my Death Watch like that recently, so I guess I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. Yeah.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah. But I'm only doing it to like 5, not my whole army.
No, as long as you only do it in tournaments, I don't give a fuck. I ain't never gonna fight you in a tournament.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, no, I definitely don't play that against you.
I had enough time learning to beat you in Garage Hammer. I don't need to do it in fucking tournaments. I don't have fun doing that.
Yeah, it's I like tournaments is definitely different flavor.
Yeah, it's more of it's kind of like D&D is one of those things where it's super popular now, so that's why I can speak about it and everybody's going to know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But D&D is very much like storytelling and using abilities. It's like playing Skyrim or something, right?
Yeah.
Playing a tournament is like playing Magic.
Yeah.
In comparison. Like
just the level of like focus energy.
Well, that's kind of how I think. Like D&D is more.
Yeah, I see that.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, like D&D is more about the like theater.
Right.
It's like the theater.
Where Magic is like your goal is to beat the guy.
Magic, the game mode in Magic is called Arena.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. It's an arena.
Well, I think that's the difference that you're talking about, where D&D is the journey, where Magic is the goal, the end point of the goal is to win.
Yeah, exactly. And that's very much what I feel like Garage Hammer compared to tournaments.
Yeah, Garage Hammer is the journey and playing 40k and having a good time with your friends. Not that you can't have it in tournaments.
No, and I'm not saying that. I mean, like, as much as I'm saying, like, tournaments suck, but I'm not actually saying that to people. I'm just saying, for me, they suck. Like,
your end goal isn't to win. It's to have a good time and enjoy the game.
Yeah, it's like when someone tells me that they're having a kid, and I'm like, that's awful for me. Not for you. Yeah. Good for you. Right. That sounds awful.
Like, our friendship is over. Okay.
My buddy always said that. That's why I use that term. So he ran into some friend he hadn't seen since high school. Yeah, and he's like, hey, what have you been up to? And she's like, oh, I had a kid. And he's like, oh, that's fucking terrible. And she looked at him all mad. He's like, oh, fuck. I mean, for me. Like...
Because now I don't have a chance. No.
He's like thinking of himself. Although maybe, I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
I didn't get to look at her.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I sit with it as far as like Grand Tournament and Crusade, and I enjoy all of them. So far, I have enjoyed all of them.
I have had more fun doing. We need to do Crusade. I've had way more fun doing Crusade. Oh my god!
I have fun thinking about Crusade, not so much playing Crusade. mostly because at 500 points, a single Space Marine can kill my whole army.
You gotta work your way up.
Hey, dude, I was Tau. Trust me. I know.
No.
The only dude that ever survived was one guy, and it's because he had a railgun.
No. We played a 500-point game.
Yeah, me and Tom played a bunch of 500-point games too.
And legit, his one captain flew across the table with a jetpack.
Yeah.
Thunderhammered my only Lehman Russ, because it's a 500-point game, and I only fit one in there, in one turn, and the rest of the Marines killed half a guardsman. Mm-hmm. And that's all I have.
Yeah, dude, you're talking about every game I have. Literally, every Crusade game that I played against this piece of shit, I had one model left.
But you
I
had
had a good time.
that can come back and shoot.
No, I couldn't. No. Not in 500 points. That's what I'm saying. I had a bunch of dudes.
Oh, right. You were all bad because you had to bring fireworks.
Yeah. I was like, these guys are paper mache. I had literally every time I fought this guy, I had one guy left, and it was a miracle that he lived.
So what you guys saying? I should play G-Steel Cult in the next Crusade.
Yes.
Maybe it's Space Marines. Right?
Watch, we played G-Steel Cult. It's worse. We're all fine.
That's 500 points.
I think 500 points actually would probably be really fun to fight Gene Stealers.
Yeah.
Because you would be forced to pick and choose your buffs.
Oh, right.
Because you wouldn't be able to fit 9 characters on your list.
I want to play Crusade because my 500 points will be 1 Imperial Knight. Let's just be like, all right, we're starting the game. I win.
Yeah.
Although I do want to do now that I'm also kind of building knights, I do want to do the Pacific Rim,
game
battles or whatever.
Well, I did just get what is that? Titanicus.
I was like,
come on, my
I forgot you got
that. I just got Titanicus Knights, and they're like this big.
They're only that big.
I thought they were like
this.
No, those are Titans. The Titans are that big.
It's like the Warlord Titan is like that big.
Yeah, the fucking Imperial Knights are like that big, or they're that big.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we could do that against like regular Tyranids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just use regular Tyranid models to fight them.
Like this Gaunt?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Gaunt would be about the same. It would be like Knife Head from Pacific Rim.
That's funny.
Yeah. You know, it would work. But then we'd have to get all new terrain, and I don't want to do that.
Dude.
That's why I think it'd be better just to do it with normal stuff.
I know. But yeah, no, I think we should do, because we played Crusade, and like literally the stories we have from like those handful of Crusade games
were pretty good.
Will echo forever in our
Dude, those
mind.
Crusade games.
I mean, we were playing Crusade games before Crusade games even had a name.
Oh no,
we were making our own kind of stringing our narrative games together and kind of weaving our own story, and then they basically gave us an excuse to do it.
Dude, so like that's actually okay. So what we originally were going to talk about on this thing is completely derailed, and that's totally fine. I was talking to a whole group of D&Ders, right? And basically, there's this group that now has their own show, right? Like, they basically, like, put out a Patreon, and they were like, give us money, and we'll make a show. And they made, like, $1 million. Like, so much money. So they've started their own animation show. God, I can't remember the name of, like, the actual show. But it was just D&D.
Vox Machina?
Yes, yeah. But what their show on YouTube was. And it was just D&D. And I remember, like, I watched, like, one episode, and it was hilarious. Critical Role, that's it. And I watched that, and I was like, oh, this is actually really funny. Or not funny, but I mean, it had some funny moments. But it was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, it's actually, like I have a hard time when people are doing the character voices. You know, just because I'm like...
It's a little weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah.
Some people can't nail them and don't understand their limits.
Well, it's like, I'm not expecting to see a grown man be like, yes, child. You know what I mean? I'm like, what's happening? Like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Stop it. Stop, you're fucking this up. You know?
Depends.
Yeah, no.
If he's playing a dark wizard, I would hope he talks like that.
I totally understand and respect how people are cool with that. Yeah. Me, a little weird. Like, it takes me a minute to acclimate, like,
oh, definitely.
You know?
Also, normally, like, what I'm saying, like, but that's us sitting around a table and we all.
Yeah, if I was in it, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
as a viewer, you find it hard to, like.
Yeah, just, like, get into it, you know? Right. Especially because they were like, hey, watch this. And I'm like, okay.
And you're like, cool. It's like, welcome, child. And you're like, what?
I'm like, that's weird. Why is that dude talking like that, you know? But one of the things that he was saying, because, like, basically my friend's, my girlfriend's friend's dad, and he was telling me, he goes, this show is just great to watch because he's like, it's just entertaining. And he's like, because they're telling the story, you know? Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy shit, we need to do that with the Crusade.
Right.
We need to just have that game where it's like, it's not about the overall, like...
I'm not trying to win.
It's not about the army. Like, we always think, as 40k players, we think about armies. Right?
You need to go zoom it in.
We need to zoom it in. Zoom it in to where it's based on a couple characters. Yes.
And
focus on those guys, and we play games, but we tell that story.
Yeah.
You know, and like we announce it, we act it out as we're playing it. You know, we don't have to like do the fucking voices.
Right.
But I mean, like, explaining the way that like this is happening right now, it's like, dude, Eric, like saying Eric, like I always say Eric is one of my Imperial Knights, but like being like, dude, he needs to do this. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I have to do, you know? And maybe having something that we were talking about before, about like having like a GM while we're playing it.
Right. I never got the chance to play it, but I always liked the theory that Rogue Trader, you know, old Warhammer.
Oh, the original Warhammer had a GM?
And there, it was basically like you had some Space Marines, and then he would throw fucking nasties at you.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying.
Against the GM. I always thought that was cool.
I think we need to do that. I think we need to develop
that. The plan, the only thing that sucks about it for me is I'd like to GM, but I want to play. I love, everybody knows at the end of the day, I love slinging dice. That's what I'm all about.
But that's what you're doing by playing the entire enemies.
Well, no, that's what I'm telling you guys to do. So my thought process was I'm going to have 2 players show up, and I'm going to be like, hey, bring a list. You're only allowed to bring infantry. So, and you have to bring, you know, if you have a named character that you're working on, bring him. Or if not, don't bring him, kind of thing. Like and then I'm going to tell the other player without telling the other player the plan or who they're going up against. I'm going to be like, all right, hey, I need you to bring, you know, scout, like a, what do you call it? Like a scouting party. And then I'm going to have the 2 players play each other. And I'm going to be like, all right, guys, today you are playing Death Guard, Poxwalkers versus Tau Pathfinders. Pathfinder's goal is to make it from one point of the table to this point of the table without dying.
Yeah.
And the Poxwalkers, you guys get to deep strike turn 1 on this portion of the table, like just kind of like a plan out. And then it's like, all right, your Pathfinder, like if you had Deadeye, for example, I'd be like, all right, Deadeye is the sergeant or the, you know, is the leading commander. He's the leading, like he's the commander of this mission right now. He's just the leading, like, what do you call it? The highest ranked individual. Acting sergeant or acting like CO or some shit. And he needs to get from this point to this point without getting his team killed. Yeah. It's like for every guy that you lose, that's a point that you lose. And then like I won't tell you how it's pointed, but I'll tell you what your goals are.
Okay, so
this is good. This is good
yes,
stuff.
no. So I agree, but instead of him playing Poxwalkers, you play Poxwalkers.
Well, I don't want to play Poxwalkers because I want to keep the players in the dark, like a DM.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what I'm fighting. You don't even have to tell me. Then we'd start, and you'd be like, all right, this is what's happening. And then you'd start making the table. Because, I mean, that's how they do in D&D.
That's how it is in D&D. The DM, because I played an D&D, so, you know, you're all sitting around the table, and then the DM's like, okay, you entered this room, this is what you see, and they start drawing this shit out.
So that's what you do. You build that in front of us.
Right.
You know, like...
You'd be like, okay, the army has come to a 4-way intersection in a rubble city, and then you grab the buildings, you kind of assemble.
Yeah. Or you would set it up, and we just like walk in.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm gonna be like, Tom, you're setting up at spawn point A, and your objective is to get to X fill point Z on this portion of the table.
Yeah, exactly. And then you let our decisions, in our turns, we would have to role play what our decisions would be. Like if you've got a group of Imperial Guard on this section, it's like, hey, these guys are here to help you, but then you start attacking them, And like, you know, Kevin would be like, dude, I need help.
I'm definitely gonna throw in like baddies or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then you know, some fucking gene stealers show up from like this location, and they start attacking you from this side. Like all the poxwalkers are dead or some shit.
Yeah, but then you, you know,
and that's the whole point of it being a GM,
right?
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's the hard part of being the GM is make sure you balance the enemies right.
Exactly.
So so what you could do is, you know, as we're murdering through the poxwalkers, you just start respawning the poxwalkers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, if anybody who's playing D&D, it's kind of like an unsaid thing, but it's like when you're playing with your players and they're fighting like a owlbear and they're pushing that owlbear shit in, you're like, oh, let me add a little more health to that owlbear.
Yeah. Oh, it's now a dire owlbear.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and you give them that stats, but it's still an owlbear. They don't know that they're about to kill it. Well, and you're just like, I'm gonna add a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you could totally do that where it's like the poxwalkers come up and say Kevin literally kills all.
Say I first rank, second rank, and just fucking score a handful of sixes, and you're like, oh, that was too easy.
And you're like, oh, hey, I'm gonna be like, oh, hey, Private so and so was bitten by a poxwalker. You don't know about it. You're gonna take one turn of movement, and then one poxwalker is gonna show up in your squad. Yeah, and then you have to shoot him. And he's like, okay, well now you know, Private so and so is bitten, and now 3 more poxwalkers show up, and it's kind of like
shit like that, or like
you know, all those poxwalkers die. I move over, and then they get back up.
Right.
Like you shoot him and he's like, oh hell yeah, I mean I killed them all. And it's like, actually you didn't. These ones are proving to be more resilient. What do you do now? Right. And then that's how we roll the turns.
Right.
Like that's every unit we have. We don't even have to do it where it's turn based. You know, we do it where it's like, okay, this is what's happening. This is currently what's happening.
Oh, we play it real time.
Yeah, because then exactly at that point, Kevin could be like, dude, Tom, I'm getting fucked up. And then I could be like, oh, well, fuck, I'm going to run over there. Like, you know, like I'd measure it out, be like, I'm going to run there. And you'd be like, all right, cool, go ahead and move there.
Be like,
I move, and then you're like, you hit a landmine. Right. And I'm like, oh shit, my foot's blown off. You know what I mean? Like,
Kevin, you need to, you're thinking about, you know, calling for backup. Go ahead and call for backup. And Kevin's going to be like, you know, command, this is Sergeant so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to be like, negative on backup, you're on your own.
Yeah, dude, like that. Dude, shit like that'd be fucking hilarious. That'd be rad, to roll that out. Right. And we do it as the story that we already have a story for this.
We have so much story,
we have the crusade, the Byzantine crusade.
Oh yeah.
You know, getting home. Like, and that's the whole thing. Like, we came out of the war, whatever the fucking story is. Yeah. You know, we came out of the war, and I'm like, hey, can I help you?
Also fall out of the war because shit, you know, fucked up their warp travel. Mm-hmm. So it's like totally convenient. Your guys fell out of warp, my guys fell out of warp.
We could totally do this with just the 3 of us. We don't even need a bigger group.
Oh,
I'm about it.
That's true.
I'm gonna do it however the hell I want. I'm the GM.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
No, I know. So we're obviously a little freeform right here. Don't steal our ideas.
Right.
But you know, this is kind of our end goal.
Yeah. Right? So this is what we do.
Right.
We start a topic and then we end up completely off course.
Yeah.
But it's all gold.
This is not exactly the podcast, but basically what we're talking about right now.
This is way more freeform. Podcast is way more creative writing and lore based.
But as you can kind of see how we just started talking about this, and now we're trying to come up with a whole way of doing things. That's what we're trying to get out to the world about this game.
Right.
We're trying to show you guys like, hey, it's not just a board. It's not just chess with extra steps.
Yeah, it's not just open this rule book and follow it to the letter.
Right. And what is the best thing I can put on the table to just table my opponent kind of thing.
There's a spirit behind it.
Right.
Yeah, spirits and shit.
Close this out, Tom.
Basically, guys, thank you so much. We've just been hanging out. I'm out of a beverage.
Me too.
So we're going to end it here, obviously. Thank you all for joining us again. I've been Beast. He's been Marky. He's been Kevin. GymDark Gaming, Under the Hive of Madness podcast. Thank you.
That was good.
I'm dead fucking serious.